cheaters. You gotta bust them. You gotta bust them. We're gonna start this over, but this is pretty good.
Weekend. He was asking Jenny to text Carly on his phone because Carly dropped her phone in the toilet. Fun fact, this is so random, but this memory just came up. I remember I gave my iPhone 3 at the time, back in the day, to a friend because I got a new phone, and then she dropped it in the bathtub because she was having a bath. She dropped the phone in. Anyways, my brother and Carly were basically sharing phones for the time being till she gets a new phone. I decided to open up the phone and reply with something stupid and funny in order to embarrass Jenny. So I opened up the iMessage app and went to read their private conversation to see what was happening so that I could tell a relevant joke. Second to the top of the list of conversations was a chat with a guy or girl named Zach. I didn't know who Zach was, but the most recent thing he sent her was a heart and said goodnight. Based off the title, I think we can all assume that Zach is in fact a male. Or maybe not. You never know. I was curious, so I put off replying to my brother and I opened up Jenny and Zach's chat. To my horror, there was sexually explicit talk of what he wanted to do to Jenny when she, quote, crawled up next to his sack. What a filthy beast. His words, not mine. I scroll up and there are multiple noodles. You guys know what that means? From both of them, waiting for me to discover. Most of them are dated sometime between 1 to 4 a.m. Usually I am sleeping then, so I knew she was obviously trying to hide it from me. I realized my wife is cheating on me. I took a moment to realize that this was the end of our marriage. All of our happy times, our foreign trips, our romantic nights must have meant absolutely nothing to her. I put the phone down and I went to the bathroom to freshen up while Jenny was still sleeping. I carry on with my day, make breakfast, and wake her up. You are a better actor than I because there is no way I'm going to bed and pretending none of that ever happened if I saw that. My mind would not even allow me to close my eyes and try to sleep. I carry on with my day, make breakfast, and wake her up. While she was sleeping, her phone went off 7 times. Yes, I counted, and they were good morning texts from Zach and a confirmation to see if she was still visiting him this weekend. So her girls' trip is a little vacation with her little side bay over there. She went to the bathroom and I heard her phone vibrate loudly since it was placed on the bathroom countertop. I heard the sounds of typing and the send button. This happened 3 times while she was in there. As she was coming out, I quickly went downstairs to pretend that I was doing nothing out of the ordinary. We eat, she goes to take a shower, and I try to open up her phone. Jenny changed her phone password. I must have been acting a little weird or distant, or she thought it was time to secure her phone since we've been so comfortable around each other for the past few years. It's because she's going to see him this weekend, for sure. I tried to open up her Facebook and email, but the passwords to those were changed as well. Jenny has gone out with some friends tonight. She thinks that she lost her phone. Nope, I stole it before she left so that I could try to break into it. Man, better you than me. This is a nightmare. I went through a massive hassle to unlock her phone, but I finally did it. She's cheating on me. They talk about sex positions that they want to try. I can't say any of that. No, sorry. Whew, okay. Yeah, alright, let's just say it was really descriptive of what he wanted to do. And it involves her mouth. Oh no, don't shut down my page, please. And one short conversation about them meeting up this weekend. My sister-in-law Carly must be in on this. I've erased all traces of me breaking into her phone. I don't know what to do now. Jenny is cheating on me, but we've had no major problems in the times that we have been together. We still have a good intimate life. We still go out on dates and cuddle sometimes when we're home. I don't get it. She's on birth control since I told her we should wait a little bit before we have kids. Thank God. We're both fit and still attractive, I guess, so it isn't about looks. Should I tell her I know? Should we split and file for divorce right away? Should I tell my brother that Carly is in on this? is get revenge. I've got a prenup in place with a cheating clause since I make much more than her, thankfully, so I won't be getting shafted. I'm thinking of finding out more about the situation and then coming to a conclusion, since Carly might not even know about this. I'm not sure if they're actually leaving town or if she just wants to spend time with him. I've screenshotted the texts and emailed them to myself. Then he edited this post later that day, and he said, I hired a private investigator to tail her Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It took a while, but passwords to everything changed, and I backed up all my personal info and created throwaway emails to send the proof to. She's home. It really sucks just talking to her normally, but I'm dealing with it. Also, I have found 3 excellent divorce lawyers for myself. Luckily, I make much more than her, so I can afford an excellent lawyer, while she can only afford a mediocre one at best. I'm in good hands. She's been on her phone texting again in the bathroom. I can hear the send button being pressed over and over. She eventually went to bed, and I'm sitting here watching TV on my laptop. No sleep would be had on my end. We have the first update, which came the next day, which should be the day they're leaving for their trip. She's still asleep. The PI will be following her vehicle starting at 10 a.m. today. Jenny and Carly are heading on their weekend trip. She'll have some breakfast. Carly will swing by here and they'll take Jenny's car and head off. The PI will be tailing them all day. I'm excited to see what he finds. Selfishly, me too. He offered to take me around with him, but I politely declined. The PI is posted down the street waiting for her vehicle to pull out with Carly. She woke up about 10 minutes ago and I'm about to cook her breakfast. Carly is showing up a little earlier today, around 10:30 a.m., so I'm cooking her breakfast too. The PI will be sending me live updates and I can view one of his cameras on my computer, sort of like a live stream. The fact that you're even cooking her breakfast right now is, give this man an Oscar. He earned it. All right, he edited the post later that day, writing, turns out she was not headed to the place that she told me she was going. After a trip to Starbucks and a shopping center around 2 p.m., they were headed towards a residential area. Carly got dropped off at the hotel and Jenny drove away and went back to the residential area again. At 2:22 p.m., Jenny went up to the front of a flat house in a residential area and kissed a guy before she entered. It's Zach. Cheating confirmed. Carly seems to be clueless about the situation. The PI snapped a shot of the kiss. Then Carly texted my brother about Jenny and her cheating. So Carly just threw her own friend under the bus. Is she just finding this out right now? I don't know. So my brother knows, Carly knows, and I know. They didn't know that I knew, so my brother just told me this via text message. I need to act surprised when one of them calls or I see them next because I can't have my whole evidence collection ruined. I cannot have them tell Jenny that I know because it'll ruin my opportunity to collect even more evidence to truly cement my case. I'm not sure if a quick kiss and entering a house will suffice the infidelity clause. She might be able to play it off as a friendly greeting. The PI is scheduled until Monday, so I've got more time to collect evidence if my brother and Carly keep their mouths shut. We have another edit later that day. Zach and Jenny ended up leaving the house and went to the Starbucks shopping center that the girls were at in the morning. Another guy just got into the car that Zach, Carly, and Jenny are in. Is this like a double date cheating scandal? Zach has a friend and Carly's with the friend. An hour later, Jenny texted me that Carly is cheating. Safe to say, I think this friendship is over. It seems like Jenny convinced Carly to go with her to Zach's house to show her the location just in case something happened to Jenny. Carly would be her guard, so to speak. Then Jenny brought Zach and the other guy to the hotel and Carly got cold feet, didn't want to cheat on her husband, so Jenny is stabbing her in the back. I'm not sure. I'll find out what happened in the next few days. That's the only reason I can think of as to why they would turn on each other. Throughout the night, I got texts from both Jenny and Carly. Jenny asked me, "What are you doing?" and "Call me if you can." Carly said, "I'm sorry about Jenny. I'm here if you want to talk about it." I I ended up calling my brother around 10:30 p.m. and told him about what they had texted me and parts of this investigation. He will be here first thing tomorrow morning. I feel better now that he knows what's up and isn't in the dark. All right, I think they're both cheating and then they're ratting each other out to almost cover their own infidelity. Not that that really makes sense, but that's my prediction here. Luckily, we don't have to guess. We have another update that came the next day. The PI updated me at 4:21 a.m., telling me that Jenny and Carly arrived on the ground floor of the hotel and were sitting in the hotel lobby talking to each other. They were not up in their rooms. Carly was holding her head as if she was hungover. They returned back to their rooms at 4:56 a.m. Jenny is due to come home sometime this afternoon or evening. My brother came over and I learned my brother is not very good in crisis. When he arrived, we ate and I told him about the whole cheating situation and how I have video proof. I showed him a screenshot of Jenny kissing Zach and Carly talking to that stranger that they picked up at Starbucks. I showed him that they hung over at the hotel, the different text messages, etc., and he started to freak out. I was afraid he was going to burn my house down. It took me a good 10 minutes to get him under control, but he was surprisingly, amazingly calm afterwards. We talked over options and decided that we would each act like we didn't know about our spouses cheating and like we were clueless. So I'll act like my brother and Carly never said anything about Jenny, and my brother will act like I haven't told him about Carly. It may or may not work, but we're doing this to keep our spouses under control. The last thing we would want is our spouses to come home and have a simultaneous freak out trying to do damage control. During the meeting, the PI texted me that they had gone down for food and all four of them were sitting at a table outside a restaurant. Jenny clearly had on male sunglasses. One of the guys brought them with them for their hangover and probably just lent it to her. Either way, it was clear that they were all in pain from the night before, except for the stranger. He seemed completely normal. They had their meal and went back up to the hotel room. I'm not sure why they didn't use room service. Maybe it's because it's so expensive. My brother and I watched them eating at the hotel. He just stared in horror, I guess realizing that his marriage was in fact over. He cried his eyes out afterwards. I felt so bad for him. Jenny texted my brother, "Hey," at 1:19 last night. That's it. He didn't reply to her. Carly has not texted him yet. We still aren't 100% sure that Carly cheated at all because we have no video or picture proof other than her talking to that guy at Starbucks. Just a few more pictures and videos and we can stop this madness and get on with our divorce cases. He is finding a lawyer tomorrow and we will meet with them sometime this week. The mood in this house is so sad. Yeah. We have an edit later that afternoon. Around 1 p.m., the PI followed them back to Zach's neighborhood. In the car, it's Jenny driving, and then Carly, X, the random guy, and Zach. There were no public displays of affection between X and Carly, so my brother doesn't have a picture or video proof. Zach was dropped off at his flat house, and Jenny got out of the car and followed him up the driveway. In plain sight, they passionately made out, kissed, for 10 to 15 seconds, like a farewell kiss. Feels good that I now have more than enough proof. I'm devastated about what I've discovered. Hats off to the PI. Now, me and my bro are both just watching where Carly and Jenny are going. It is just them in the car now. My brother's case is still a mystery. What is Carly up to? We're just waiting for them to return now. Speaking of when they return, what should I do? Play dumb? I don't know how to react. I want to tell her that I know about all of this after my divorce lawyer meeting tomorrow. By then, I'll have all my ducks in a row. I hope she doesn't come home and confess to me tonight. I would rather wait till after my divorce lawyer meeting. We have more updates, but let's hop on hydration station first, because I need water and you need water. Cheers! You guys, we're in the car right now with Lila, and look, she looks like alfalfa. She has one little curl on top of her head. So cute! She doesn't think so. The next update came the next day. All right, so So Jenny and Carly got back to the hotel. I had my devices cleared and everything looks normal. My brother and I were sitting on the couch watching TV. Jenny opened the front door and Jenny and Carly walked in. It started with normal, "Hey huns, I miss yous." They took off their shoes near the door and Carly went over to sit next to her husband. Jenny just walked up to me and hugged me for a good minute or two. She pulled out of the hug and kissed me like she did Zach for a few seconds. I pulled away and I said, "What's up?" She looked away. I could tell she was beginning to cry, and then she started sobbing. She got all teary-eyed. I almost felt bad for her, and then she said, "I'm so sorry, honey." I played dumb, and I said, "What happened?" She asked me, "Carly didn't tell you?" I said, "No." She told me that she had to make out with some guy, Zach, and that if she didn't, he would let out a dirty secret of hers. I asked her what the secret was, and she wouldn't tell me. I told her, "Is that all you did? A few kisses isn't that bad if he was blackmailing you. It's okay." I asked her, "What about the weekend getaway? You didn't go on a trip or anything?" She said no. She had only gone to a hotel where the guy wanted to meet up for some kisses. That's the best story you came up with? Carly clearly looked uncomfortable during this, and she kept looking over at us as if she wanted to say something. I turned to look at Carly, and this is when the truth started to come out. I already knew Jenny had sex. I was just playing dumb. Jenny said, "We did do a few other things, but that's all." So I asked Carly what happened. Carly told me that Jenny told her they were going to a lodge in the mountains for the weekend. Jenny told Carly that I didn't want to miss the football game, so I was going to stay home and it was going to be a fun weekend for them to bond. This is believable. They are best friends. Jenny then took them to Zach's house and she forced Carly to keep her mouth shut or she would tell my brother that Carly was cheating. She showed Carly where she would be just in case something happened to her and then dropped Carly back off at the hotel. Carly said Jenny went back to Zach's place for a while, they did something, and came back later with a guy that she didn't know. Jenny then had some more intimacy with Zach while Carly just spoke to the new guy that Jenny had brought over. They had a few drinks and went to bed. They dropped them off at their houses and now they came back home. False. BS. Carly lied. She never mentioned them picking up X at Starbucks or anything. My brother was growing more and more frustrated with the lying, and so was I. I told Jenny and Carly to come with me at the dining room table and asked them to give me the whole truth as their stories didn't add up. That is when Jenny started bombarding me with, "Why don't you trust me?" and "We're married. We're supposed to trust each other through thick and thin." Snooze fast, cheater. The four of us were sitting at the table. My brother and I knew most of the truth. Jenny and Carly knew the whole truth. We had to get it from them. Jenny started sobbing hysterically. Carly followed. They both cried for maybe 10 minutes without talking. Jenny came over and hugged me and sobbed into my shoulder. And then Jenny sat back down and told me the whole truth. Jenny and Carly had made up the entire trip. They wanted to have sex with other people for once. They went over to the Starbucks so that Carly could meet the guy that she had been seeing for a while prior, X. Jenny grew paranoid that she was being followed by me, and that's why she started driving around the city in circles before going to the residential area. She then went back to the shopping center to pick up Carly. X had something to take care of and said that he would meet Carly later at the hotel. X is actually a friend of Carly and Jenny's. Carly and Jenny then drove to the hotel that they were staying at to eat some food. Later, they went back to the car so that they could drive over to Zach's flat house. They made out in there and they also had sex. Zach and Jenny. After a while, Jenny and Zach went to the shopping center to then pick up X again. With X, they went back to the hotel where they were going to have, As I guess, Carly got cold feet and didn't want to do it. Jenny and Zach, however, did do it multiple times apparently. Carly ratted out Jenny right away so she wouldn't be involved with anything. They all had a bunch of drinks and got drunk. After Jenny and Zach were done with knocking boots, they went to bed. Carly and X hung out all night, nothing romantic except for hand holding. They woke up, ate food, dropped everyone off at their houses. That's when the kiss with Zach happened again. And then they drove to the coffee shop. There, they talked extensively about what they would tell us to cover up what happened that weekend. They got too confused and just decided to wing it. They went back to the hotel, got their things, and checked out. So, from what they told me, Jenny had sex, Carly did not, but was going to. I don't know what to believe. My brother had a look of relief on his face, but also slight anger. He scolded them about lying for maybe 15 minutes, then again about how badly they had hurt us, and they cried more. I was furious. I asked her how long this has been going on and how they were meeting each other, and she said that this was the first time they had sex. My brother and Carly talked in our bedroom. There was tons of yelling and crying on both parts, and they came out after 20 minutes. They looked like they had made up, and then they went home. I told Jenny I was going forward with the divorce process, and she started yelling at me about how I was betraying her and that we are life partners and we can't divorce. I'll retrieve call and text logs to find out who she was calling when they were outside the hotel. Either way, my head is spinning and I don't know what to think about all this. There are so many questions that need answering. I left the house, so Jenny is at home alone now. She has texted me 13 times to come home and that she misses me. Did you miss me while you were making out and screwing another man? Another update the next day. This morning, we woke up at almost the exact same time. She said that she wanted to come clean to get everything off her chest. She couldn't live with herself to keep leading me on. Carly did have sex with X, but that isn't it. They actually switched partners repeatedly over the weekend. Okay. She said Carly was frightened about my brother finding out, so she stabbed Jenny in the back by snitching on Jenny. In other words, Carly wanted to be the plaintiff and Jenny to be the defendant, since usually the person who reports first is to be trusted more. That's what I said in the beginning. They were trying to cover themselves, so they threw the other one under the bus. When Carly told Jenny what she did, dumb move, that is when Jenny panicked and sent something similar to me about Carly cheating. So they both cheated on us with two different partners. Zach and X are mutual friends to both of them, apparently, and all of them had been interested in some sexual things for a while now. Jenny said she wanted to see what it was like to taste other fish in the sea, and Carly was tired of the same bland life. I was once again devastated and angry that she still hasn't told me the truth, even after coming clean. An hour ago, I texted my brother asking him if he could swing by the house later today with Carly so that we could talk about something. He instead told me to come over to his house tonight with Jenny. Keep in mind, I hadn't even told him about Carly cheating yet, but he already wanted me to bring Jenny along. So maybe Carly did come clean to him? Jenny is nervous about going over there later. She isn't eating much or speaking much. I received the call logs from Jenny's phone over the past few days. The person she and Carly were talking to outside the hotel wasn't Zach. It was a number I've never seen before, so possibly X. She contacted the bank once, probably about the frozen joint account, or she was trying to drain the account. She also called Carly multiple times throughout the trip. Her phone is broken now, so she hasn't had any calls in the past day or so. Zach is probably wondering why she hasn't spoken to him recently. The divorce lawyer and I have a follow-up meeting scheduled for Thursday afternoon. We're planning on going through with the divorce. I will be informing Jenny that she'll need to hire a lawyer soon. He added an edit to the post at around 11 p.m. later that night. Jenny and I pulled up to my brother and Carly's house. Carly answered the door. She looked sad and her eyes were swollen as if she had been crying for a while. Without beating around the bush, my brother got right into it. My brother said Carly told him that Jenny pushed Carly into having sex with Zach and X, and that it wasn't her choice. Carly must have come clean to my brother about them being intimate with Zach and or X. Carly spoke up and said if it was her choice, she wouldn't have done that and she would have remained faithful to my brother. We're all adults here. We're not actually gonna try to use that as an excuse. She forced me to. It was her fault. She made me do it. Okay, maybe that worked when we were 7 years old, but Carly said Jenny turned into a bad influence recently and kept nudging her towards an affair, but she kept resisting. Finally, to stop the pestering, Carly gave in. Carly said again, Jenny isn't a positive influence you want in your life. Jenny looked furious. She shouted, "You effing liar. Jenny admitted that they both were intimate because they both wanted to try new things, and she didn't force anyone to do anything. I spoke up for the first time in a long time, and I took Jenny's side. I questioned my brother, asking him if he actually believes the BS that Carly was spewing out of her mouth. I told him there was no way Jenny forced anyone to do anything. Otherwise, Carly would have sneak texted one of us earlier about this whole thing. Emotional breakdown commences. Carly wept for 10 minutes straight, mumbling out words nobody could really understand.
Does it matter? In this instance, you got to divorce the bitch. Both of those guys need to get a divorce. There ain't nothing to talk about. There ain't nothing to talk about. Straight up.